Hello everyone, I'm going to be making the tic-tac-toe board that goes with the red and silver holographic skull pieces that I made the other day. So this is going to be the board that goes with it. It's going to be silver holographic. I'm going to paint on some parts, and then I'm going to use a mixture of a black with a little bit of red in there, which will just be a little lighter on the black side, probably a tinge on the brown side when it comes out. I'll be mixing that into the resin to pour in on the back side. I'm not doing the X's and O's because that's not what I want. I've got my pieces already made that fit the board. So I'm gonna start by just trying to keep most of it, the holographic, in one spot. I don't care if a little gets over in other areas because this is just a board for me. And I'm not doing, even though they're skulls, later I plan to make some little dinosaurs for when my granddaughter's a little bit older so she can play tic-tac-toe with dinosaur pieces. So this isn't going to be a, skull themed. It's just gonna be mostly holographic with kind of sort of a black background. And this is just literally ultra fine holographic glitter, but like glitter, it goes everywhere. The resin I'll be using is Letsresin regular epoxy resin. I'm not using the polyurethane today. This is just going to be the regular epoxy A and B 1-to-1 ratio by volume. In the future I'll have this sped up, but for right now I don't know how to do that through my phone. But I am looking into getting a camera so that will, assist in doing the time lapse. I could literally do a pause and then go click the button on the camera and it does the time lapse itself. please feel free to, if you like the video, click like and hit subscribe to follow me. I don't charge or anything for followers, and all my content is available for everybody. I'm just starting out on doing YouTube videos, but I've been doing resin for a number of years. Just as a hobby for myself. I am getting into making river tables, though. The small ones for like between couches on the side of a, or between chairs on the side of a couch. Just a small end table, river table. And I get more room, I'll be able to actually show part of the process of doing that as well. Because I really love doing those. They're just a lot of work and they take a lot of hours. I hope you can hear me well, because my cameras, I found an actual old tripod that we had, so it's better than the little small one that was sitting on top of the desk that I was so worried if I accidentally bumped it, it would have fallen into the resin. So now it's actually on a full-size tripod, and maybe you can see a little better. I hope my light on isn't too bright for you. I had to put a little piece of paper because it was blinding me, but it just gives it so it aims it straight down instead of in my face, so I can see without it actually blinding on me. So hopefully it's not causing too much of a glare or anything, because this is, like I said, a different angle. Knock off any loose glitter, let it float around to the bottom, because like I said, I don't mind if it goes other places. If it was for somebody else and they didn't want it, I'd, you know, clean it up with tape, or I would have prepped it and put tape down to prevent it from going into those spots as best as possible. Glitter, glitter everywhere. It's just literally a ultra fine holographic glitter. It didn't even have a sticker on it. I don't even remember where that one came from. This is supposed to take a little over 11 ounces, but I'm only going to be doing 8 today, so 4 ounces of part A and 4 ounces of part B. Move this one out of the way for the moment. They were sitting on the floor, so they were dusty. Clean up this one right quick. I mix for 2 minutes in one direction using the actual resin mixer, and then I'll do 2 minutes in another direction, and then I will actually do the last minute or so by hand to make sure I'm getting the sides, the bottom really properly mixed. Letsresin is really good about not having too many bubbles at all. And I use 91 or 99% alcohol to spray to help get the bubbles down when I do pour. And I've never had any yellowing issues using regular resin. It just seemed to have happened when I used the polyurethane resin. This is where we're mixing, making sure you get the sides really well scraped. And I'm also doing the bottom. No resin on my fingers. See how much mess I can make doing this. In. Yeah, and that's coming out kind of sort of a really dark purpley brown almost, so that's going to be a pretty cool color in contrast with that holographic. And it'll match well for dinosaurs or the skull heads that I made, or if I want to do other colors. That way I just have one board and multiple pieces. I've got all kinds of different things that I can use. I've got some gummy bear molds. I've got like Lego shaped molds that I can make little Lego men that could be in there for a tic-tac-toe, or I've got the gummy bears that could be done in there, and they're not the little ones, they're a bit bigger. And like I said, I've got dinosaur ones for my granddaughter. But none on fingers. And that just helps with bubbles. Hoping I got this really well mixed in here. I don't want the color on that there. Has its own nice pretty sparkle because it is a mica powder used. And like I said, it's black with a little bit of red in there, so it actually kind of sort of gave it a purpley brown color, which I noticed when I've used it before. It originally had some glow in the dark, but the glow in the dark disappeared under the black, so I don't have my hopes up for any of the glow in the dark anymore on using it with the black like this. Now if I did them in separate pours and actually did it just, you know, glow in the dark and then did the backing of the colors, that would be, you know, come out differently and look better, but Well, am I glad I didn't mix up 11 something ounces and I only did 8, because that's just about spot on. Unless this isn't accurate, which I have noticed with some of these silicone cups, they are not that accurate. But I don't like using the true gradient cups unless I absolutely have to, because they're not as easily reusable. They're thin, flimsy, and tend to break on me when I try to get resin out after I use them. So I prefer trying to use something that is reusable, and this I just let it cure and then pop it out. I know I set you for a long time. I got to reset the time on there. You're actually a clean one, which I need later. Cleaning up some other stuff. The powder spill, get that cleaned up before it ends up actually going everywhere. Get this off before it cures like that red did, because I forgot to clean it off last time. You, I think, are going to be too big for the project I need next. I've got to do some top coats on my coasters, horror coasters that I put the tattoos on, so I'm going to do top coats on them. I need a smaller. Nope, that one's not cleaned up. Okay, I'll use this one. This time I'll be using this stuff. It's Stone Coat Countertops heat resistant top coat. So this will be the first time using this, and I'll be putting it on top of the coasters for better heat resistance. So if my husband puts coffee or I occasionally have hot cocoa, it will protect my coasters. So hopefully you can see, I got Sam put on some that coaster. And here's Chucky and Tiffany. Of course, Michael Myers. Sam from Trick or Treat and Michael Myers from Halloween are two of my favorites, along with Ghostface from The Screen. And I like Chucky too. The coaster holder that I did, here, see, maybe you can see it better under the light. Hopefully you can see it over here. Is the little girl from the original Poltergeist movies. So I'll be doing, even though this one doesn't really need it, I just want to protect the tattoo, because I will put them on after I did the coasters. So I want to mix up some resin to do top coats on them. Really good and clear. Grab another stir stick that is clean. One of my least favorite parts, trying to figure out how to calculate how much I'm going to need for top coating. I usually overdo it, so I've got all kinds of molds that I can use as a backup, which is always good to have on hand, but I've got to tape the backs of these first, so if resin goes down the side, it doesn't go underneath and leave a weird mess. And this one I don't have to worry about taping because it's just literally putting a little on the inside. They're not quite 3.5. Clear. Times 3, 9. 36. Well, we'll start with 4 ounces, 2 ounces of each, and see how that goes. On before going into the next one. Dribble on there, protect that. Sit you out of the way. And of course the other one I prepped open, this one I forgot to. All the way up. And see, of course. And I meant to tape first. Well, I guess I'm going to have some sanding to do because I don't know how long the work time is with this. It's the first time using stone coats. It's a lot thicker. I noticed that right off the bat than Letsresin. And it said stir time 2 to 4 minutes, but I don't know what the actual full work time is. And speaking of some bubbles to pop, back over there. I will edit this out, so hopefully it won't be too terribly long, especially all my mishaps trying to get everything together. I found an app that on the computer that helps with editing videos. Still learning it. I've never edited videos. This is all after my time. They didn't have this stuff in school. It is extremely bubbly. I don't like that at all. Glad I didn't use the mixer for this part. Oof. Popping the bubbles. Mix again for a few more. Scraping the bottom, sides. That is really, really awfully bubbly. I do have a lot of excess. Don't stick finger in. I know, I set you for too long. That stuff says only 2 to 4 minutes, and I did a little longer. All right, you can sit flat there. I'll move you in a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and move you over here because I'm gonna have to get something else to finish off that rest of that with. always overestimate or underestimate. Keep fingers out of that one. Okay, let's see how everything turned out. Do have some spots that I'll have to get with the sander, and I can get a little bit with the deburring tool, but some will have to actually take outside to sand. But they turned out pretty darn good. few little micro bubbles because I didn't stay with it. I'm used to Letsresin, so I will know for future, but this is just my set. But I love how they turned out. Now one of them, I was doing a test because it had been 12 hours to see if it they had, you know, started curing or not, and I used my tool and touched it, and I left a little raised up bubble area, so that'll have to actually sand down and top coat this one. But there's minimal drips on the back. Most of it all went onto the mat. And this mat is from Little Windows. It's a resin company that they sell resin. They sell all kinds of some molds. They sell this. This is literally specifically for doing your top coats, whether it's for jewelry or a coaster. So it helps hold your pieces up without having to have like the painter's pyramids that will hold up bigger pieces, and it's hard to get, you know, painter's pyramids, enough of them underneath something like this and keep it steady. So this is a great little mat. It's silicone, so everything peels right out really super easily. And let's see, I don't remember if I showed Ghostface. I'm hoping I have in frame. And I don't know if you can tell the bubble right there and a little spot right there. But everything else came out really good. Just a few little micro bubbles. Hope this isn't too close to the camera. There we go. That's a little easier. Couple little tiny pinhole micro bubbles. Could just barely feel them, but it's a sound board. Just have to take the deburring tool. I don't know if I can get this in frame or not, but might need to let it sit a little longer. Keep it flat so it'll still soft. It's 24 hours, but it takes some pieces a little longer to get fully flattened out. Also might have been the angle I was holding it. Sorry, my arm keeps going in the way. Super simple tool, great for clearing little bits off of cured resin to keep the sharp edges off your projects. I hope my arm isn't going in the way. May have to edit that part out. Man. clean. Sticking to me now. And then, you know, number 5 spares. I went in with some black acrylic paint and painted in the eyeballs and tried to get down in the nose, but I need to find a smaller brush right now. I don't have too small of a brush to use, so it's kind of hard to get down into the little fine details. I have one, I just don't know quite where it is. But I have our little tic-tac-toe board. Hope you can see it well on here. You can always add magnets to the back and in here, and so if you're traveling and stuff, it'll hold your pieces in place. You don't have to worry about losing them. Tic-tac-toe. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed.